China just closed 21,000 kindergarten in 1 year.
Kindergartens in China are witnessing a steep drop in numbers.
China's declining birth rate has led to the closure of nearly 15,000 kindergartens.
Well, China is witnessing a sharp decline in its kindergarten system, driven by an ongoing collapse in birth rate.
If you are under 35, there's a 50% chance you will never have children. Not can't, but won't. And let me show you what is actually happening. 21,000 schools empty. That's 57 closing every single day, which raises a question that nobody wants to ask. Why did humans stop having babies? So, what has changed? What happened to our species? It's not a slowdown, but simply a stop. Countries are spending billions to solve this problem. In South Korea, they have spent $270 billion, and in Hungary, they're spending 6% of their GDP to solve this issue. But there has been no progress. In 2023, China closed 14,000 kindergartens. In 2024, it is 21,000, and 2025 projections puts that number to 30,000. These aren't being renovated. They are becoming nursing homes. The buildings for children are literally being converted for elderly. And it is not just China. When I first saw that number 21,000, I thought it had to be wrong. Or maybe it is just a China thing. One child policy finally catching up with them. That would make sense, right? But Japan just recorded their lowest birth count in the history, 687,000 births. And they are closing 450 schools every single year. South Korea, well, they hit a record low of 0.72 babies per woman. And I need to show you what that number actually means, because it sounds abstract if you don't understand it. Think of it like this way. You start with 100 people and they have 36 kids. Those kids have 13 and those 13 will have 5. 4 generations, that's not a population decline, that's extinction math. Let's look at Europe. Italy has villages where no one has been born in 3 years. Germany is converting maternity wards into senior care. San Francisco has more dogs than children. This isn't random. This is a pattern. So, governments are panicking, and they are doing what governments do when they panic. They throw out the money. Hungary is giving you $30,000 for having 3 kids. Mothers of 4 will never have to pay taxes, ever. And free IVF for everyone who wants it. But their birth rate is still below the replacement, and it is falling. South Korea, they have spent $270 billion over 16 years. That's $53,000 for every single birth. They now have the world's lowest birth rate, and it keeps on dropping. I mapped every country that's tried to fix this. 63 countries are shrinking right now. Over half of humanity now lives in countries that is below the replacement rate. When every government on earth throws hundreds of billions of dollars at the same problem and every single one of them fails, you have to start asking a different question. What if this isn't a problem to be solved? What if it's a trap that was built? Alright, so if money can't fix it, I needed to understand where is all the money actually going? Like what changed between your parents' generation and yours? In 1970, median home cost 2.3 times the median income. In 2024, the number is 5.8 times. It didn't just go up, it nearly tripled in one generation. Your grandparents bought a house on one income and raised 3 kids. You need 2 incomes just to afford rent. But okay, maybe if you skip the house, you can still afford the kids, right? Childcare in the US costs more than college tuition in 32 states. Let me say that again because it sounds insane. It costs more money to watch your 2-year-old than it would cost to send them to a state university. But at least wages went up to match all of that expense, right? Well, median household income adjusted for inflation has grown 8% since 1975. Housing costs, well, they are up by 190%. Childcare, up by 214%, and healthcare, well, they're close to 200%. So, you are making basically the same money your parents made for the thing that costs as much as 3 times. The math doesn't work. It was never supposed to. After all this research, I needed a break from all that data. So I started scrolling on social media and I found a video of a woman throwing a birthday party for her cat. But it is not a joke. Her whole family is there in matching outfits, birthday cakes, singing happy birthday, and it has 6 million views. And I am thinking, okay, this is peak internet. That's the kind of hilarious memes are put out there. Then I started reading what she wrote, and this is fascinating. Other girls my age getting married or pregnant. I made a birthday party for my cats, and the comments are equally wild. Honestly, I'd rather do this than have kids. This is the life I can actually afford. My fur baby is my whole world. She needs to not be the only one in her family with nothing to celebrate. And I started wondering how many people are doing this. What I found wasn't a trend, it is an economy. And this is the pet industry. Americans are spending $150 billion on pet in 2024. That's more than what federal government spent on the education. Gen Z spends $170 per month on their pets. And it is not just food. Birthday parties, professional photo shoot, health insurance, spa day. Veterinarian just became the #1 rated job in America. The job postings is up by 124% since 2021. Pet insurance is projected to hit $30 billion by 2030. We built an entire industry around not being alone. So here's what that actually means. 150 billion isn't going towards childcare or school or helping young people buy homes. It is going to an industry that figured out how to monetize loneliness. But that's only half the story. Because while some people looked at the math and said, okay, different life perhaps, there's a whole other group who didn't give up. They are still trying and hoping and believing that eventually this will work out. And funny enough, there is an industry that is built around this hope. And what I uncovered about this industry's success and what governments are doing to make sure people have kids in the future, that's where the story gets dark. In part 2, I'm going to show you the biological trap that hits the people who wait, the woman who became the face of egg freezing but whose eggs all failed, and the IVF, which actually costs a lot, fails about 74% of the time. And finally, the technology that 4 countries are building right now to make sure that babies happen without parents. Because when $270 billion in cash incentives doesn't work out, or when biology won't cooperate, someone is going to try a different solution. And what I found honestly scared me more than any numbers. Part 2 will be up shortly and the link will be in the description below. If you want to understand why half of you won't have kids and what is being built to replace you, you need to watch what comes next. Subscribe now so you don't miss part 2 and share it with anyone who needs to know about this.